After taking your notes on color schemes on page 31, you're going to turn to the next page, which will be page 32. And before writing in the page number, I'm going to go ahead and have you glue in your handout. So the nice thing with this one, you don't have to draw the lines because there's little color wheel on each color scheme that we're going to do, and that would have been a little too daunting for you to have to recreate. So I have these handouts printed out for you. So what you're going to do is go ahead and glue this handout to your page. And make sure that the bottom of the page lines up with the bottom of your sketchbook page, just so it's showing that it's an inch from the bottom of your page. And just make sure to center that handout as well. Okay, so once you have that completed, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see what we're going to do for this page. We are going to go ahead and label each section. And you are going to create designs for each color scheme. Okay, we're going to do different kinds of designs, nothing too strenuous. And once we get the paint, we're going to go ahead and paint them the colors of the color scheme. Okay, so moving on to this first column here, we're going to go ahead and start up here. We'll work our way down, and then we'll work on to the other side. So I do have to zoom in quite a bit just so you can see what I will be writing for each section. Okay, so for the first color scheme, we are going to do what is called monochromatic. Monochromatic. And with monochromatic, what you are using is only one color. And you're also going to use the tints and shades of that one color to show its different values. Okay, so notice we don't know exactly what all of these spaces indicate. So only for this first color wheel here, I'm going to have you indicate the colors of the color wheel, and then you're going to refer to this one for the rest of the color wheels. Okay, so we're just going to abbreviate. I know it's going to be a little bit hard to see. So we have Y for yellow, YG for yellow-green. We have G for green. We have BG, I'm going to have to write the B on top of the G, for blue-green. Next is B for blue, BV for blue-violet, V for violet, RV for red-violet, R for red, RO for red-orange, O for orange, and YO for yellow-orange. So the color that I'll have you demonstrate for this first color scheme is the color blue. So you're just going to go ahead and pencil in the blue area. And you're going to make a line going from the center to the blue. Okay, so that's indicating that monochromatic means one color. So for your design, what you're going to do is create two wavy lines. So you're going to have a wavy line towards the top here. And it doesn't have to look exactly like mine. And another wavy line towards the bottom. So when we start painting for this color scheme, this first area here, you're going to take your blue and mix it with white to make a lighter color of blue. The center, you'll just keep it the color blue. And the bottom here, you're going to take your blue and mix that with black to make a darker value of blue. Okay, moving on. Our next color scheme is complementary. And what complementary is are colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. So we're going to go ahead and pencil in this section here, which is orange, and go with its color directly opposite, which is blue. I'm going to go ahead and create a line showing that you're going to work with these two colors. Now, on the last assignment for the neutral palette, you ended up mixing your complements together. For this color scheme, though, you are going to see how the colors work side by side. Okay, so you're not going to mix those two colors together. Your design for the inside here, you are going to draw your initials. So you can do your first and last initial, you can do your first, middle, and last initial. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my first, middle, and last initial just to take up the space in here. And you can draw in whatever font you are able to paint in. It may be a little more challenging to paint in something that's more of a pencil thin line. So I'll have you decide what kind of a font you want to create that you know you can paint inside of. Block letters and bubble letters are usually the easiest to do. So I'm just doing kind of a wacky block letter here, all lowercase. Okay, so nothing too fancy. Okay, moving on to the next color scheme. What we have here is double complementary. So for double complementary, you're choosing two sets of complements. So what we'll do for this one, we're going to work with yellow here, and its opposite, violet. We'll also work with yellow-green, and its opposite, red-violet. So for this design, you're just going to go ahead and create some stripes. And I'm just going to go ahead and make some horizontal lines. They can be the same distance apart. They can be spaced a little bit apart. So I'll have you decide how you want to space your stripes. It'll be all up to you. And you don't have to limit yourself to just 4 areas to paint in. So if you notice here, I have 2, 4, 6 areas. And you'll just decide where each of these colors are going to be painted in to show how they work side by side. Okay, moving on to our next color scheme here, we have what is called split complementary. Make sure you spell that correctly. Okay, so for split complementary, you're going to choose a set of complementary colors. So the one that we're going to work with here, we have red, and then we're going to work with the color green. However, For split complementary, you're not using its opposite. You're going to use the colors next to its opposite. So you're going to work with these two colors. We have yellow-green and blue-green. Okay, so for this design, you're going to go ahead and make some zigzag lines. So I'll have you decide how exactly you want to make your zigzag lines. You can use a ruler, you don't have to use a ruler. I just like to use the ruler just to make it look a little more precise. If you want to just make 3 areas for your color, that's fine. I'm going a little bit more than 3, just to make the design a little more interesting. Okay, moving on to the last one in this column. This one here is called analogous. Now for analogous, these are colors next to each other. So for this color scheme, we are going to use a total of 4 colors. So we're going to start with our orange here, our red-orange, red, and red-violet. Okay, so for this design here, you're going to create a plaid type of design. So plaid, it's just a grid type of pattern where you have vertical and horizontal lines intersecting. And you can decide how many horizontal and vertical lines you're going to have that will intersect each other.